So check this out. It's a given I can't get jeans on over this cast. I mean, come on. We know I can't do jeans. But I wasn't thinking about shorts either. I was just thinking I had to wear a skirt. And I just played horseshoes and got these shorts on over the cast. Cool, huh? I can wear the shorts instead of skirt. Depends. We'll see how it is. The weather on Tuesday. Joe called me. We just had a very interesting conversation. Dominated by him, as usual. Because he teaches me things. He told me there are parents who, it doesn't make sense to me, that Manchester bombing outside the Ariana Grande concert a few days ago in Manchester, England. He's like, again, I'm only going by what he says, that he, I guess, read online or something, I don't know. But I'm like, are you sure about that? It's like, well, maybe not all of them, but he said there are parents who their kid gets blown up and they're still apologetic regarding the terrorists. I'm like, why, Joe? He's like, I don't know, Laura, they're brainwashed, they're whatever. I don't know. Again, I'm not reading anything like that firsthand, so I'm just saying that's mind-blowing to me. It's just like stupid to say Trump's against all Muslims. He's not. He's against the terrorist Muslims who are doing all kinds of bad things. You can be anti-terrorist, and that doesn't mean you're anti-all Muslims. And that applies to anybody. I don't know. Just reading a new book about anarchy and all that crap, which isn't crap, but I go back to the same thing, and I actually can refer to movies. Even like in the fifth wave, these people, they have proof, so they know that the world has been taken over by extraterrestrials. Okay? They still fight to stay alive. And they still bond in these movies sometimes. They still fall in love. They still whatever, I can't do anything about any of this shit. I can't do anything about any of it. I just don't want to be alone. But as I said in one of my videos, I found it. I found it because I periodically go through my videos to see if they've reached the 100 or the 500 mark, because when they reach that mark, they go in my playlist for feature my more popular videos or my most popular videos. I have a video. I don't want to be alone, but only if I cannot be alone on my terms. Okay? And that goes back to the same thing. Would have been much better off being alone than being with Donald all those years. I may as well have been alone. See? fact that I managed to get this back is a tribute to me. Whatever's inside of me that just says, you know, it doesn't give in or whatever. Doesn't mean I'm not damaged beyond belief. My song Broken says it all. As I've sarcastically pointed out, I'd rather be damaged beyond belief and look like this, have this body. It opens up more doors than being damaged beyond belief and looking the way I looked when I did that song Broken, you know. Donald apparently liked my hair like that too. I don't know why. He was just subconsciously trying to change me from, he didn't even want me to have bangs. He just wanted me to be a thing. He just wanted to own me. He just wanted to, you know. He said it before, something about, he doesn't want me to have the bangs. He's trying to, he doesn't, because I had bangs when I did Alicia's World, say. I would go out with him and not even, or like, I remember I was dressing frumpy too for a while when I was out with him. Like, if we went to the movies or something. I didn't have to, that was a reflection of my mind, because, I'm sorry, but I still, you know, I didn't have to dress frumpy like that. I just didn't give a shit. In fact, I think I remember correctly, I wore like a longish skirt with sneakers. One time. Probably when it was cooler out, I didn't feel like putting pants on or something. Because I still wore, I mean, when it's LA, but it gets cooler in the winter, you know. What we in Massachusetts would call joke cooler. Oh, but in any case, when you're there, you feel like you're cold because, you know, you wear a winter coat. Anyway, I didn't have to dress, just because I'm 232 pounds, I still can dress nice and look decent, you know what I mean? I just didn't give a shit. That's what happens when you are just in an abusive relationship where the person just slowly, methodically destroys you. And I've shown you pictures of what I looked like when I was in the shelter and talking to this woman. She was actually a black woman, but I was talking to her and telling her about Donald and abuse or whatever, and I'm like, you know, when I could have had any, back then, I could have had any guy I wanted. I wound up with the likes of him. She looks right at me like, you still could have any guy you wanted. Yeah, I don't think so. Thanks, but I don't think so. We weren't good friends or anything. I don't even know. She saw me outside. She told me, she's like, and I saw you out, you know, down by wherever. She's like, I would think he was some kind of attorney or something, not here in this shelter with us. That's what she said to me. She's like, I would think he was some kind of attorney or something like that. Yeah. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Even if all this shit that Joe believes, I just sit down and listen to him. I need to get one of those Bluetooth things. I don't think they cost that much. I don't like holding the cell phone up. I hold it like here, but I don't like to do it. Even these first Women's World magazines were saying that they've actually proven that you know, it's not good to hold that cell phone up to your ear for hours at a time. All this stuff Joe believes is like, goes back, you know, Bible and this, that, whatever. Is it all true? Who knows? Who knows? You know what I mean? Who knows? I mean, we're not going to know unless the lizard people, the Anunnaki, just come waltzing down the street one day, right? I mean, come on, we're not going to know. Anymore, as far as I'm concerned, we're going to know why we're here. Anything. I don't even know that there's no hell, but deep in here, I believe there is no hell. And as I've sarcastically pointed out, I can't force myself to believe something I don't believe, so. Look, Sally's hot as hell husband. You want to see pictures around on my Flickr. But anyway, we were at a local bar one night, and he's joking. He's like, I want to go to hell. All my friends will be there. Think about them sometimes. Wonder what they're doing. How they're doing. She apparently, when I was in LA at some point, bumped into Auntie at somebody's funeral or something or other, I don't know, and said to Auntie something like, yeah, Laura's too intense, or too whatever word she used. It might have been a lesser, I don't know what she said, but I think my aunt told my mom that, and my mom told me. Yeah, it's like I told you, she was fun to fucking go out dancing with and whatever, but she was shallow as hell. So she appealed to the one side and definitely not to the other. And she's not someone you can count on. That night I flipped out and was running away and fell over that 6-foot cliff in that restaurant around here. I was begging people to kill me when I killed my mom. Unbeknownst, she was sick and acting really fucking just. Wouldn't have gone out with her if we didn't know, Didn't know. I thought she would have been acting funny, but in denial, never living with her crazy third husband. But in any case, Sally was nowhere to be found when I'm sitting here, she was, and I wouldn't be like that. I'd be concerned as hell for my fucking friend. I'd be wondering what, I'd be right there following her if she's running in heels, although I never wore heels, but pumps. And who knew? Do you really think that I'm running away from my mom? Laura, I love you, Linda. I couldn't deal with it. Couldn't deal with her behavior. She was hanging all over this. I'm 20-something, 23, and she's hanging all over this young guy that was liking me, and she was just. But in any case, you wouldn't think you'd run across restaurant property and fall over a cliff. But I did. And I was unharmed. Doesn't make sense, does it? Remember, that was the first time. There haven't been that many times that, they had to put me in my own safety. But I only spent one night and I was released. I remember they were asking me the stupidest questions. Stupidest questions. All I had to do was sober up. I sobered up and told them I wasn't suicidal. That's all, and they released me. There was no locked up for 3 days or anything. It was just overnight. I told them I was upset about my mom. Of course, if you're begging strangers to kill you, you have to be locked up for your own safety. But in any case, all this stuff that Joe believes makes my head spin. But he's Lacey's smart, you know what I mean? I enjoy listening to him because he's smart and he's not talking about shallow stuff like baseball or football or this, that, whatever. And guys, yeah, he wonders about that shit too. He's like, people are so. If people spent more time trying to figure out what's happening in the world and whatnot, even 10% of what they spend obsessing over all these games and whatnot, is what Joe was telling me. And then he's like, how come they, someone like Tom Brady, he's like, I have nothing against Brady, I like Brady, whatever, but how come he can make so much money. And Joe was saying it's because people are willing to pay to see him. They turn, and I said rock stars too. Throw that in. And movie stars. He's like, they make them into gods. They make the sports heroes and the movie stars, and they make them all into gods. And then they let the world just disintegrate, and they don't even know aware of anything happening. That's what Joe was saying to me. He's like, if people, the only reason like someone like Tom Brady can make so much money, and he was saying even what I was saying back at my Alicia's World News or whatever, like, why do you need to, he was saying these people why do they need that much money, or why do they have to have 2 mansions, or as I pointed out on my Alicia's World News, like Jerry Seinfeld has like 15 cars or something like that. And but anyway, Joe brought this up. I didn't. I basically hold the phone here and I'm listening to him, and every once in a while, yep, and I might ask for clarification, but basically I just listen. And he's like, yeah, I think about this, Laura, because if people weren't willing to pay $150 to see, or he's talked about why do they want to pay $150 for a T-shirt with Tom Brady's face on it? You know what I mean? It's like their name's not Brady or whatever. And he says like it all feeds into, which it does. It feeds all into the corporate world's desire to keep everyone dumbed down and to not try to search out the bigger things in this life or whatnot. And Joe's like, yeah, if people weren't willing to pay so much for the tickets, like let's say everyone agreed they won't pay more than $10 for the tickets, then the people running it would have to just charge $10. Otherwise there'd be empty stadiums or empty whatever, So why is it like that? Why are they like that, Laura? I don't know, Joe. You said you've come full circle and you believe in reincarnation, right? He's like, yeah. All right, well then maybe they haven't lived as many lives. And like, yeah, maybe you're right. I don't know. But that doesn't mean people can't wake up more. Like, yeah, I think about all this. I know. If I like talking to you, you're not stupid. Doesn't mean I necessarily believe everything he believes. I'm not him. See? Proof that I'm not him is I sit here and listen to songs like the Hinder songs or whatever and fantasize and get it, I'm sitting here trapped here. Think about it, what do I have to do? I can listen to my music, or I can read the Women's World and Fresh Women magazines. That's it. I actually need to place a VitaQuest order. It's a holiday weekend, maybe they'll have a sale. But she was right. This world's just... for lack of a better, going mad. Progressively worse. Don't know. I don't know. I don't know. No, it's getting worse. Oh God, want to see my disgusting feet? I haven't washed them. So I want to see my disgusting foot. Don't get grossed out. I'm warning you. So if you're someone who doesn't want to look at the disgusting foot, figure it's almost 2 weeks now of walking around in bare feet in this house. That isn't exactly clean. I'm not exactly in any condition to clean it now, am I? I'm going to show you how dirty the bottom of my foot is. But I'm warning you, so if you don't want to look at the dirty bottom of my foot, just fast forward through the video. Okay? Oh, look at that. Is that gross? It's just dirt. I can't exercise, but I do those ab vacuum things I learned about in Women's World magazine. You go like this. You blow out you go. And then you do your stomach down as tight as you possibly can and hold it. Like, I do it like 20 seconds or something. I also do Kegel exercises because they're easy enough to do. I'm doing them right now. One of these magazines I just read was, a woman was asking, which is interesting because in this one, this is interesting because, again, but nothing's ever consistent. That's what upsets me about this life a lot of the times. I can't get anything consistent, got anything. So I read that someone was saying, I was reading something or other, that it doesn't loosen a woman's, vagina to have kids or to do whatever, right? I read some experts saying that no, that's a myth, it doesn't blah 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 blah. But I don't think that's necessarily true. This woman wrote this. These magazines have private health. As I've said before, I A, I've never had sex with a well-endowed guy. B, I haven't really had that much sex in my life, so... I think I was told before that I'm like really tight. I forget the situation though. I don't know, maybe a guy was fingering me or something. But you can actually do your own test. As I was telling stupid Stoney and his characters. I was telling Colin. As a woman, they say you could do your own test to see how tight you are down there. So, I think you should start doing Kegels or something. This one. I haven't read that many of them. I'm reading them cover to cover. Can't give him freaking sedative anymore, and it sucks because he doesn't sleep as much as he does, and when he's sleeping he's safer. Private health, let's see. It's interesting though, because this is saying just the opposite of what I had read before. Not in this one. Let's try this one. Oh, here we go. This woman wrote in this private health, page 102, ever since I gave birth to my son last year, I've noticed that my vagina feels looser. It's especially bothersome during sex with my husband. I feel significantly less friction and sensitivity. I tried Kegels, but they didn't help much, and I've read about vaginal rejuvenation surgery, but that seems like a drastic measure. Is there anything else that I can try? And they wrote, I'm going to read it all, but they're saying up to 90% of women over age 30 experience long-term or permanent vaginal changes because of childbirth, aging, or chronic rigorous exercise. And a lot of them find that Kegels don't strengthen the pelvic floor muscles enough to restore elasticity. Apparently there are things called Kegel balls that are actually Benoit balls, and they're inserted into the vagina before you do the Kegels. And so I guess it helps to tone the pelvic floor muscles more effectively. Apparently there's also a vaginal tightening cream. Supposedly hydrate and plump up skin cells to reduce vaginal diameter and create a tighter feeling. And this expert says you should look for a cream with natural ingredients like aloe and glycerin to extremely hydrating emollients. Anyway, I did that little Kegel, that little tightness test a while back, or last year or something. So I'm not, I don't have anything to worry about regarding any of this. And I've never had kids. I've never... Chronic rigorous exercise. I don't know what that refers to. Hasn't done anything to me. Stoney, one of his characters, said, "I bet for your age you have a really tight pussy." Why would you think that? Seriously, how could you possibly know that? You don't know shit about me. I mean, you don't, why would you even think that? What would lead you to think that? I think it's actually true, but I don't know why he would think he would know that, something like that. How would he? How would he know that about me? Like I said, I haven't. I haven't really had that much sex in my life. Most of my one-night stands wasn't actual sex. And the two men I was with long-term were not into sex. You know what I mean? So... what the hell was that? That movie I loved. I like Ashton Kutcher anyway, but that movie I loved with Ashton Kutcher, he plays like goes to Hollywood and becomes like a gigolo for older women, and it was with Anne Hesh, I guess. What the hell is it called? It's one word. I loved that movie. I think I saw it like 3 times. It's with the S. It has it's one word. Anyway, that happened to her. I guess because she was older and she was having sex with him all the time, and he was that she wound up having, got that surgery. She got the vaginal rejuvenation surgery. That just wound up turning him off. He was turned off by the whole thing. Anyway, he at the end of the movie, he wises up and I don't know the name of it. Expressing anger can lower blood pressure. Here's a reason for not holding back your frustration over a traffic jam or computer glitch. Venting may protect your heart. They analyzed 6,000 people. Those who cope with stress by suppressing their feelings had an 80% greater risk of elevated blood pressure than those who expressed their anger. Quashing negative feelings may trigger the release of cortisol, stress hormone, and increase blood pressure. I have normal blood pressure. I've been praised before. I have good blood pressure. Apparently it's on the low end of normal. So it's not even remotely elevated. too much. It's too much. God, I can deal with all the religious stuff and whatnot. Remember all the stuff that Joe was telling me back when we met over 20 years ago. But now I have to deal with extraterrestrials and Anunnaki, and we were created in a test tube and on Ki and on Lil, and one on Lil doesn't like us. She wants us all destroyed. We're a dilution of the race. You know, and on Ki believes we're worth saving. We have their DNA in us, and etc., etc., etc. And Omar, I had moved this over to have him jump up on the bed, because I have to protect him, because if he jumps up against this thing that I have my feet up on, he'll fall backwards and hurt his eye and so whatever. What do you think happened? Because he's blind. Instead of going all that room he had, because I moved this all over, nope, he jumps right where my leg is, and 3 welts, because his nails, the vet doesn't do a good job. They cut his nails, and because when God said when we took him that day, she had them cut his nails, and then when that other woman, Angel's mom, took him again, I said have them cut him more, but they're scared. They don't know what they're doing, and they don't cut him enough. God said woman, change her name, has cut me off completely, you know, so there'll be no more even taking Omar to get his nails cut. I mean, sick. Sick. It hurts. Hurts. Now that one who drove me to the orthopedic surgeon clinic that day, and then she wound up in the ambulance herself coming back, and then I was lucky Angel's mom came. God, come here, you're gonna fall. I wish they would give me sedative to knock you out. That stupid natural thing they gave me, it'd be a more natural thing, calming. They half a chew, it does nothing. I never used to have to worry about him. I'd be lying here and he'd be, because I'd have him on the sedative, you know, and he wouldn't be trying to get down off the bed. And oh, and I said I've never been with a well-endowed guy. I should rephrase that to my knowledge. Roland was well-endowed, but we didn't have sex. I don't know if that's a stereotype or not. I think maybe it isn't. I think maybe it isn't a stereotype. I think that I mean, I'm sure there's exceptions to every rule, but maybe most black men are well endowed. I don't know. Maybe it is a stereotype. Woman in the shelter was pregnant, and she had a black boyfriend, and she was showing her sonogram picture. She was going to have a boy. And everybody, including me, we looked at the picture and like, what is that? And she's like, that's his penis. I'm like, oh my God. We were all saying that. Isn't that hysterical? The sonogram picture is showing that like, you know, he's gonna, it was showing his little penis, but it was, I'm like, you wonder what it is in the picture. And she's like, that's his penis. I'm like, Holy shit. She apparently, asked in the picture. She asked the nurse or whatever in the sonogram. They know. Like, it's his penis, little fetus or baby or whatever, inside of her, and already is like. She was white. Her boyfriend was black. How would I know? I don't know. If it is, the Roland fit it, but that doesn't mean all black men fit it. I don't know. I wouldn't know. He's the only one ever. He's the only black guy I was ever with. But Kegels are easy enough to do. Any woman can do them anytime. You know what I mean? They're it's good to do them. My mom had a whole thing with Kegel, the whole box. I think it's still in there, maybe. Maybe it has the Benoit balls in it. I never looked at it. I just see the box, but it has some contraption or something. Like I said, I don't have to worry in that area. I was with guys just average, and I could feel them, so no. My hair must look greasy as fucking hell. I can't tell though, because I don't have to have the light on. I'm not gonna be having more light, because I'd have to drag myself over there to put the light on and put it off. I'm not doing that shit. No. Anyway. Joe always talks about the same stuff. That's what his, he reads all that. He reads David Icke and Zechariah Sitchin, all of them. And I go back to the same fucking thing. we're here. We're all gonna die someday. And at this point, there's just this reality or the other side, as, you know, Gemini syndrome put it. There's no third option. There's no option to have never existed in the first place. So you either choose to stick it out or you don't. And I could die today or tomorrow. I don't think it's tomorrow yet. I could die tomorrow, or I could live another 50 years. You know what I mean? It's a crapshoot. What does any of it mean? I don't know. Is there a God? Common sense dictates that if we are conscious, there can be a God. You know what I mean? If we're conscious, there can be a God. There can be a conscious being, whatever. It doesn't mean there is. It goes back to the same thing as how, or what I studied in college, the philosophy of religion class. Why is there something rather than nothing? Why are we conscious? Why are we here? Why is there something rather than nothing? Think about all this shit too much and make your head spin around and around and around. One of these days I gotta find that poem I wrote a long time ago and read it to you. When I say it's one of my favorite poems I ever wrote, it's basically the gist of it is we're just here. Supposed to know why. You're supposed to appreciate it. I think about all this kind of deep shit all the time. Then we go back to the same thing. I said it in numerous videos and told the truth when I said that I really, because I never experienced that before, I really, really, really enjoyed that guy sucking on my feet for like an hour and a half in his car in 2013 in the middle of the mall parking lot in the middle of the afternoon. Donna said it in his tape. It's what brings me out of my head. Being touched, it's all of it. Even just listening to, fun sexual songs like Kinder's Take It to the Limit, Up All Night, Use Me, Ladies Come First, all those. Takes me out of my head. Limp Bizkit has a line in his song that I love. It's on my MP3 player. I analyze every second I exist. Was it beating up my mind every second with my fist? Something like that. I know why you want to hate me. The world has even seen lately. Yeah, Limp Bizkit. And when did you write that song? Wasn't I listening to that in my 20s? So you know it's gone a million times worse in the past 20-something years. Take a look around. I analyze every second I exist, beating up my mind every second with my fist. Life is a lesson, you learn it when you're through. I know why you want to hate me. I know why you want to hate me. It's all the world has even seen lately. I know why you want to hate me. Now I know why you want to hate me. See, it's all the world has even seen lately. I like that song. And we got Rob Thomas. I had no idea until I looked it up online or something. Someone told me in a comment. I had no fucking clue in the universe when I was liking some of Rob Thomas's songs. First of all, Lonely No More used to play at Bally's in Culver City, the pill that I liked, with the salt water, whatever. I didn't know that was Rob Thomas. I just knew I liked the song. And then Her Diamonds and Someday, I think. I don't know when those were released, but I think I heard them for the first time on the radio when I was in the shelter, when I was walking around. But I had no idea that Rob Thomas, songs that I liked, was my Matchbox 20 from when I was 23 or so. I remember Matchbox. I had no idea. No clue. No clue that Rob Thomas was the lead singer of Matchbox 20. No clue in the universe. can't remember this. The Matchbox 20 songs that I liked, I can't remember them now. Again, it's just like Three Doors Down, Kryptonite, Love Me When I'm Gone, you know. This is all shit I can relate to. Five Finger Death Punch, Jekyll and Hyde, everyone I know has a demon inside. Again, these are the people I can relate to. These are the people I've always been able to relate to. You know what I mean? Those types of songs. Oh yes, Matchbox 20 is I'm not crazy, I'm just a little unwell. That was Matchbox 20, wasn't it? It's called Unwell. Yeah, that's the one I remember liking. We have Kid Rock's Fist of Rage. I'm a fist of rage, 1 foot in the grave. I'm a fist of rage, far from saved. I'm a razor blade, slicking through a wrist of hate. Devil Without a Cause. That's what I was listening to the night that Donald could have been a psycho, like you said. I didn't know who he was. He could have come up behind me and slit my throat. Why did I risk it? Because I'd never met anyone like him before. He was blowing my mind with his imagination and whatnot, and then it turned out that I was extremely physically attracted to him. As I told you in another video, I have extreme imagination. All the way back to when I was a kid, okay? And I was 100% believing that Donald had special powers. That's just nutty, but I was believing it. I have a vivid imagination. And Donald knew how to stoke those fires. And he stoked the fires for exactly, I don't know, the first several months that I was there. First 6 months. And then I got a job at the different parking companies and whatnot. I was working full time. He was working that first year pretending, but you know, it quickly fizzled out. But he knew how to stoke the fires of my imagination. You know I love all that shit. It's just how I am. It's how I'm designed. And so I watched the Anne Rice's interview with the vampires and the Twilight series and to me, sex really is in the mind. Let's see. The 6 paperbacks we're reading now. I would have got this, but unfortunately, it's not available. It's in Kindle or Nook. It's digital. I can't get it as a book. It's only digital. So she says, this is The Heat by Heather Keeler Walden, Paranormal Romance, digital. And this first senior features editor, 2 things I love, a steamy read and a good bargain. So she likes the good bargain, obviously, because she's getting it for Kindle, you know. It's a 4-part Big Bad Wolf romance series about sexy werewolves. And she says she got all 4 books in the collection for only $4. This is what it says. This is a synopsis. Book 1 follows Lily St. Clair, a southern girl who returns to her small hometown in Louisiana after a decade of big city living. Lily soon finds herself caught up in an intense love triangle with 2 alpha werewolves who begin fighting to claim her as their mate. Add in a serial killer who has Lily in his sights and things really get interesting. This book had it all: mystery, fast-paced action, and so much romantic tension that I actually found myself blushing at times. I can't wait to see what happens in the next installment. I can't read that because it's digital. I don't have any means to read anything digital. That's the kind of shit I like. Passion. I remember I was a lonely teenager and didn't have, at one point, didn't even have really any friends. I mean, I had people I talked to at school, so I didn't have any outside school friends, and whatever, but I devoured those romance novels. And they are all about passion. What is the lead singer of Hailstorm? Remember, I only discovered that band by accident. What the hell's her name? I knew her name, now I can't think of it. Anyway, she has a song, Apocalyptic, that I like to listen to too. And it has a line in it, throw me against the wall, bite me on my neck. Another part says, red imprint right across my ass. Again, let me point out, Donald had it in him to do whatever. He had imagination, he had whatever. He just wasn't interested, okay? And that just wouldn't be Joe. Joe just not that kind of person. with that kind of passion or whatnot. And you can't fake that. You know what I mean? That's just in you where it is, and you can't fake it. But it is what I like, because it makes me feel alive. Oh, and I'll end with this. I think I already said this, so what? Shortly before I hurt my foot. Oh, by the way, Joe thinks that they might, he's like, you never know, it might have. I'm like, people say bones don't heal for like 6 to 10 weeks or 12 weeks or whatever. But I eat really healthy, and I don't smoke cigarettes, and I'm not drinking anything, and any booze or anything. I don't know. I do know my primary care physician said, get out of the cast and put on the boot. And I said, I started with that boot. And he's like, well, then doesn't that mean that it couldn't have been that bad of a break? I don't know. I don't know. We'll find out. Anyway, shortly before I broke my foot. I really shouldn't be saying I broke my foot. I broke a bone in my foot. You can think all kinds of things. You say someone broke their foot. Broke a bone in my foot. This really hot guy. He was around my age. He wasn't like so young or anything. He was around. I mean, it wasn't like some of these young ones that have responded to my personal ad. But anyway, at least he was honest. But again, we go back to the same thing. I got a thing from him. It says, well, it goes, I read your entire profile. It gave me a headache, but I still think you're hot. Yeah. Okay. You think I'm hot, but if reading my entire profile thing gave you a headache, then chances are you're not going to like me, no matter how hot you might think I am. Does that make sense? If reading my profile description gave him a headache, then I would probably give him a headache, you know? And the fact that he thinks I'm hot would wear off pretty damn quickly, don't you think? Let's keep it real here. Although you gotta admire his honesty, because I swear to God I could show it to you, of course I won't. It says, I read, you know, it's like I forced I read your entire profile description. It gave me a headache, but I still think you're hot.